For the past 2 weeks, I've been trying to figure out what's the best way to integrate the ngSumBox into my system. And today I want to do just that. I want to show you the best way to integrate a summing mixer into your system. I'm using the X16 as the main interface. I'm using a flock patch. 4 stereo stems are going to the flock patch. I have a couple of pieces of gear on the flock patch, and 4 stereo stems are going out of the X16 and into the rest of the gear. Here I have 4 different EQ and compression chains. I have an Hyperion Dioni, Hyperion Rhea, I have Hyperion Pandora, and Prometheus Mimas Gemini. Now let me show you the entire setup when it comes to the software, the flock, the UA console, and Studio One. Let's start with the flock. If we are looking at the Patch App DX, the hardware setup menu, on the inputs I have DAW1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. These are outputs from the X16 that will be reflected inside Studio One. On the output side, we have ngSumBox 1, 2, 3 through 8, and that's how I can make a connection. DAW to SumBox. SumBox output back into the interfaces. That was the flock. This is the UA console. If we go to the I/O metrics inside the UA console, this is what I have for the outputs. Flock 1, flock 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are the outputs that are going to the flock. The rest of the outputs from 9 to 16 are the outputs that are going to the gear, and from the gear back to the ngSumBox. And the naming schemes reflects the gear that I have on those chains. For example, Dioni and Hyperion Rhea, Hyperion Pandora, and Prometheus Mimas. On the inputs side, I only have 2 inputs set it up, the ngSum capture left and right. Those are the inputs that I use to capture the sound output. That was the setup inside the UA console. Now let's move inside Studio One. On the inputs, I only have the ngSum capture, input 19 and 20, which is ngSum capture left and right from the UA console. On the outputs, I have 8 stereo outputs. Those are exactly the number of inputs of the ngSumBox. I have flock 1, 2, flock 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then the gear chains that I have from 9 to 16, and that's the I/O setup in Studio One. Now if we take a look at the template, I have a mix print. This is an audio track, and the input for that audio track is the sum capture left and right, so I can monitor inside Studio One. That's why I have the monitor activated, what is going out of the SumBox. One important thing that I forgot to mention is that on the inserts on the ngSumBox, I have the ngTubeEQ and the ngBusComp. Those 2 pieces of gear are always on my mix bus, so I'm more than happy to use them on the insert side of the ngSumBox. If I open up the mixer inside Studio One, this is the routing. We have the mix print with the capture. Then on the drums, I have 9 and 10, the Hyperion and Dioni. On the bass, I have 11, 12 Hyperion Rhea. Sound effects, I'm sending those out to flock 7 and 8. The all lead vocals are going to flock 1 and 2. All backgrounds 3 and 4 on the flock. And the sends are going to 5 and 6. Basically, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and I still have a spare output where I have the Prometheus and the Mimas. This is the template so far. I will change it and adjust it, but now let me give you a real life scenario on how the system works. Let's import some audio. Let's add some vocals too. I want to do the Gainstaging because that's what I always do, -10, and that's a good starting point. I will just do a quick sorting of the session. Kick, claps, rims, all of those are going to the kick and snare bus. Then all the percussion is going to the percussion bus. The music, I will not split it up. I will just go like this. And we have some reverbs and some effects. I will send those to the sound effects. The leads will go here. The backgrounds will go here. And now with the setup, we should have audio coming into the ngSumBox. One important thing that I've done in this template, all the pieces of gear are on bypass. You can see that the EQ is on bypass, the compressor, everything that I have is on bypass. Some of the pieces of gear are already on the proper buses. For example, on the drums, I have the Hyperion and the Dioni. I know that this is what I'll be using on drums, so it makes sense to have the recall plugins right on the track instead of having them on another different track. Let's say that I just want to process the drums. Open up Hyperion. Let's say I want to add the Rhea and the Hyperion on the bass. I want more saturation. Now, if I open up the ngSumBox, you can see that I have the drums on 9 and 10 and the bass on 11 and 12. I can use solo, mute. I can even add more THD on the summing side of things. Let's say that on the music, I want some compression. And I also have the stems on the flock. For example, if I go to the all lead, I have those on the flock 1 and 2.
Ya no quiere otro fan de Leo Messi, no le tires al 10 si te portas como imbécil. Ya, porque ya prefiere.
I've added the HE2 and the 78. I can go to the recall, start adding EQ on the vocals.
Ya no quiere otro fan de Leo Messi, no le tires al 10 si te portas como imbécil. Ya, porque ella prefiere estar sola a que estar con un cabrón que no valora. Pero si tú me das un ratito a sola, puedo arreglarte el... Ya no quiere otro fan de Leo Messi, no le tires al 10 si te portas como imbécil. Ya, porque ella prefiere estar sola a que estar con un cabrón que no valora. Pero si tú me das un ratito a sola.
I have the background vocals going to 3 and 4 on the flock. So it's 3 and 4 on the summing mixer. I can either control it with the fader here, but I also have the SSL UF8 in Mackie Huey, and I can control the levels from here. I can mix or add the final adjustments, the final automations from the ngSumBox.
Quiero invitarte a cenar en la estrella y darte rosas. Fluye tiempo, hay que tratarte a ti preciosa. Tú eres otra cosa. Tú lo que me pidas toma. Ya si quieres Roma. Ponte toda victoria.
Sorry, I got carried away. This is how the system works. From this point, I can add my mix bus processing. With the inserts on the ngSumBox, I can just engage the TubeEQ and the bus compressor.
Ella salió fácil, no la jodas así. Ya no quiere otro fan de Leo Messi. No le tires al bien si te portas como imbécil. No, porque ella prefiere estar sola a que estar con un cabrón que no valora.
And I can even go to the patch app and add, for example, the tube compressor on the master, or maybe a Pandora if I want to fix stuff. And this is how I've integrated the ngSumBox into my system. I think the system right now is close to being flawless. I still need or want a couple more pieces of gear to add on the flock to be able to process all the stems in the flock the same way that I have the ability to build chains on the other or the fixed outputs on the X16. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, drop a like. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.